Abusuan yencha ni ama akwa abasonko so emra channel so ha be media GH so abusuan the minority caucus led by Honorable Alexander Afenyomarkins abusuan mo di sembia wa betudwa efa appointment papa His Excellency John Dramani Mahama no omo ekira ade finance ministry na odi ahye KCL out of Forson ensa no KCL nye fit for that position. Just say finance ministry no ministry bia very very broad. Into KCL nye fit for that position no. Abusia we na ma Ivan Ababonten reply ama Honorable Alexander Afenyomarkins abusuan wa maba na reply che se mu edin ye pa me pese me kasa ba wan pese ye ko ne ekuti ensamo Alexander atuja ene ne Ivan aka che se reply no so ama no na se bi na se wadunche body na ya che adu na be hya no so ama se ha be media GH so ye be stress ene de dika wani channel so ni do no bo kwan so be subscribe like no abo ahya makofra pensem ne bi atie no enya bi atie yenko ne nkoti ensem no mu enchire mu emrantese a yerase
the advice of the Attorney General. So, in a quick way, to be able to set up these 3 ministries in the first place, he's being strategic. Because energy, you know the crisis, Abra Akufo-Addo Aircore, the looming doom saw, then the energy sector crisis, and as for any financial turnaround to be come from the finance ministry, then you need the advice of the AG when it comes to some of the critical decisions that the president will be making and as for and the individuals he appointed. Personally, I am not somebody I celebrate credentials, need those kind of stuff until say nipa na juma obeye. But over the years, I can tell you, say one person why at the forefront, one leading economic discussion in this country has to do with Forson. And on in Chiremu, ne Kasa, ne Nema, or demonstrated clearly said this is somebody or Tenema say when it comes to the economy and as forth. But you see, Kasa is different from delivering. And if I'm to look at his public weighing in somehow his understanding into issues of finance, it got to a point in time he was the first person to predict say Akufo-Addo people will suffer head cut. Our President Akufo-Addo said no head cut. The analysis that he did, at the end of the day, that head cut came, and he has delved deeper into this economic crisis. What for solution and as forth. So I think, if you look at the surface of it, he's an ideal candidate to be able to. But you see, being an ideal candidate and be the man being able to do the job, when you're given the mandate, they are two distant things altogether. Let us not get it twisted. But I only hope, and I know, he will be able to deliver. But much of it will come from him. Because he's going to the ministry. We know the messy state, Ghana economy, I think, vetting committee, he prefers some solutions in a certain alternative, or free employer, especially when it comes to city stabilization. How energy sector prices of crude in as for no be able to be fasten ye gina yisika no anya certain backing because it will control the dollar fluctuations now. Trust me, there are a lot of stability to achieve at the economic front, and I think he's one person you can count on when it comes to some of these. And Abu Jinapo is one person also at the energy sector, same as Forson, were leading, and the two of them have been deputy ministers in their respective ministry before. Abu Jinapo cried at some point in time when Kwabena Donko resigned because of the promise that he made or say went to be delivered. He became a substantive minister at some point in time. So, and in the last 8 years, somebody at the ministry so demonstrated certain weight knowledge and as if very extensive. I'm free say and then convincing President Mahama to give him this particular job, and on the surface of it, I hope he can also deliver. One appointment, and I'm so much impressed the Attorney General. Dr. Ãngry, because if among one shadam pay attention to him, he's not a loud person. He's not unusual, your friend is saying partisan, your friend is saying driven person. Or you'll be a thought now or no, onim the oye. And on your beer, Ubehunu usual political mantra and as a form of oh dear. So to have such person an Attorney General, no clearly say my advice, now we are president, now taking it serious. It will take you far because his views are not often influenced by this partisan stance. And he's not somebody you can drive him to do witch hunting. For him to take a case or prosecute, now we need the merits and the other side of it. So, or take a case now, say, when maybe over the years, Eddie has to do with attorney generals who become, your friend is saying, more or less like Goro boys of the president. They are working to satisfy these larger political aspirations of political parties. Such sentiments will come. But you need somebody at our clarity of conviction on him and will take key issues. Now he's looking at merit, not just the political aspect of it, because political aspect of it, so over here Abranti or call now they cases not fire, no do not drop here, especially or they are to forcing case because the motive now you're politically your friends say intensive, and such cases you will crash because the evidential value a bit more credence to go ahead with some of this prosecution. You get to the middle of it and you realize that you don't have it, but you took the case because of certain political sentiment being expressed out there and as a forum. So I think with Dr. Ãngry, with that clarity of thought and with the in-depth legal knowledge at the law school, and I think there are a lot of people watch from one there. He understands some of these things. On the side knowledge, back to this department, I'm sure Ghana will benefit immensely and several other appointments. So, Dr. Ren, the good thing is that so far individuals in now do musiwa. Credentials are but these things are different from delivering on the job. But as to whether they will deliver or not, as Ghanaians are here for their arms are here, we are yet to see. Consider the cultural expectations are quite high. And these individuals cannot afford to fail the president. Same way the president cannot afford to fail Ghanaians. So, yes, one duty on you as an appointee, as a minister, to do things right and just. Sebeya obey to satisfy the why a president appointee no so be in return be to satisfy Ghanaians. So I think there is a big task going forward that if they realize this and they don't drop in the way, very often people get filled with arrogance of power and then as a foreign they get lost in the middle of power and then as a foreign man. I think we can go. Yes, so for appointment, the president has been given mandate to appoint people. As to whether you disagree or not, he has the power. But you see, at this early stage, preempting might sound a bit weird because he's appointing them. Nobody has taken charge. And I think in a month or two, or maybe after 6 months, or maybe 1 year into the conduct these people exhibit at the various offices, I think they're in the better as to whether they qualify, they can do, or they cannot. And I think at that point, also give the president the reason either to do reshuffle and answer for them. At this point, a make or break. Yeah, more appointments, you can go to church, celebrate, palm white, aqua DNA, that kind of way, But it is also going to be an assessment phase for you. The early stage, you can be dropped. And so what drop it at the early stage, you can know, say, your political career and no. So I hope, these people will be able to discharge this responsibility that has been conferred on them, imposed on them by the president, and has been conferred, your friend saying constitution also given them that particular power to do so. No, or me, I know Mungu na Ghana and never win at the end of the day.
Yo, na mame embusao. What can say we yatete say BP for the nam say President John Mahama person set it up a friend is Haruna Idrisu adding out nakoto Ministry of Education. I don't know. Say no a set up. I don't know. And our Ministry of Education maybe your manga sa no man to tune your may into no de kasa.
So that is the question as Obisa say Napo almost set na up and also almost set a dupim up. I don't know idea what education ministry are set up. You see, Haruna Idris is somebody who has been around for a very long time. And this is a guy who had the CV our depth when it comes to knowledge. And then I say for them. And the mere fact that Uncle Education Ministry panel doesn't mean say own to me yet. And I wonder why you may do arguments and doubts as to whether he can perform well or not. That's why I know we all have the right to do so. But to say he has been sacked up, then that you need to justify why he has been sacked up. Is it because he owned to mean deliver our education and answer saying the knowledge that is needed at the education ministry? What is that knowledge? He doesn't have it. I think that it's early, but I think it's the usual politics. People are wishing you fail, and I think some of these political detractors, MPP, are lose badly at the polls, and they have become barely irrelevant in the scheme of political affairs in this country. The only way is to be passing some of these comments. So I think that is part of the usual politics that we do in this country, but it's not premised on any fact. They have nothing to justify. And I know, sir, when it comes to competence, Haruna Idrisu is somebody you can count on when it comes to some of these, because